Hi, my name is Andrew Vontzalides, and I am the TVAP case specialist here at the International Institute of New England. TVAP stands for the Trafficking Victims Assistance Program, which is basically a safety net for people who are recently out of active trafficking, but either have not received legal status yet, and so can't work legally and won't qualify for other benefits, or people who are and do have legal status, but are trying to get back on their feet after not having legal status. When I first applied to IINE, I was not necessarily looking to work in human trafficking. I've always really enjoyed working with people who might come from more disadvantaged backgrounds, and especially across different cultures, because for the longest time I have been interested in language learning and getting to know how different people live. I've really enjoyed the work because I particularly feel that here at IINE, some of the neediest clients that we do have are our TVAP clients, because they don't have the status in a lot of cases to get to a sort of self-sufficiency in their life. They don't have the status to be able to, live a life and provide for themselves and their family. And so I think that TVAP is really incredibly important in stepping in and providing sort of a safety net at a crucial stage when there's not really anything else that will. Like everyone here at IINE, my day-to-day varies quite a lot. There might be some days that I'm in the office, either working with clients on getting them signed up for certain programs. It also might be that there are certain bureaucratic hiccups that have occurred with different benefits that they might receive. As someone who's been in a country where my native language is not the language of that country, I know that it can be particularly, even if you're close to fluent in that language, it can be difficult to advocate for yourself, much less if you're just learning it. So for a lot of the clients, we can be kind of that advocate for them here in the US. But in addition, sometimes we'll be doing visits to clients. In a lot of cases, I end up going to clients' houses and helping them. In terms of some clients, they don't have any winter clothes for the winter. So in this case, I would go down to clients and I'd help give them winter jackets, scarves, and we would work in a lot of cases to get community donations for those clients. The day-to-day varies quite a bit, but it can be anything from helping clients sort out issues that they're having with the state bureaucracy to actually being able to in a rewarding way give clients things that are going to help them sleep better, feel warmer during the winter, and just overall feel more comfortable where they're living. Alexandra was working with us for, I'm gonna say, almost 2 years. She originally started in April 2022, and she, at that point, was the victim of both labor and sex trafficking. She was in a position where she had basically been trafficked into prostitution, and she started working with us, and she's overcome so many different obstacles. The first being different grant cycles. IINE gets certain grants during certain periods of time, and then they'll end. So right when she was beginning, that grant cycle ended. But in addition, she's also taken advantage of a lot of the different departments here at IINE, like our English department here. So her English level's already getting to the point that she can speak with other people. In the year that was in between, she was only able to get maybe $500, $700 a month from the TVAP program, and she was taking her children from shelter to shelter to shelter all across Massachusetts, waiting for her trafficking visa to be approved so she could actually work and hopefully provide for them. After a lot of different time and learning English on computers and shelters for months and then over a year, this summer she finally got her trafficking visa, or her T visa, approved, and she's now kind of graduated, one could say, from the TVAP program, and she's working with employment case specialists, and she's still working with our language learning department. So, she is, in my opinion, a really good example of someone who has been able to take advantage not only of the TVAP programs, but also the kind of larger, situation that TVAP is situated in to, be able to integrate herself better and not only make her life better, but also contribute to our communities here in Massachusetts and New England. I think one of the main misconceptions of trafficking is that it is the movement of people. The US government has a model called action, means, and purpose. So there has to be some sort of action, some sort of coercion or something that happens. And there's a certain means that it can be done through. Either, it can be that you have put a client in a lot of debt and you make sure that they can never pay it off by having exorbitant interest rates, or you can do it under threat of violence or whatever it is. And usually the purpose has to be either labor trafficking or sex trafficking, using a person's disadvantage or their lack of legal status against them to force them into providing both labor services or sexual services against their will. And so I think that what trafficking is actually misconceived of what smuggling actually is, which would be the movement of people across borders, movement of people and goods. And trafficking is the actual coercing of people to do labor or sex service. In addition, I think also that something that is that's overhyped is, I think, most trafficking victims in the United States, I think it's around 80 or 90%, are labor trafficking victims. And obviously in popular media, what's really emphasized a lot of times is sex trafficking. And while that's really horrible, and a lot of clients that have gone through that tend to be the clients who are the most disadvantaged, in reality, the majority of cases that we work with tend to be labor trafficking cases. So I would say the two biggest misconceptions about trafficking would be, one, that it's the movement of people, and then two, that it is very largely sex trafficking. And in terms of TVAP, I think a lot of people actually might not even know that it exists. A lot of clients don't know that it exists. So there are a lot of people that are eligible for it who are actually not receiving the services that they could be receiving. So we're always working on trying to get new people to the program. I think most people who work here are going to have a passion for working with immigrants and refugees, but I think it's also important to see the people that you're working with as people who've had lives just like you. So I think if you have a love for people in general, I think that's really important to working here, and seeing people as kind of peers who were born into different circumstances than you. Obviously, it's still a professional relationship that you're going to have with your clients, but I think realizing that, seeing them as a peer is really important, and enjoying the people that you're working with, not only in the office, which is very important, but also the people that you're helping. I think having a love for people, or at least having an appreciation for people in their lives, really important to working here at IINE.